good afternoon, traders and students all around the world. This is FXPassion broadcasting you live on YouTube, and this is Forex Trading Course 101. We are in the beginner module, or maybe not, talking about multiple time frames. Well, today we're going to talk about the higher time frame and the lower time frame. And remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build the three pillars, right? Pillar number one is the strategy and or the system. Pillar number two, we're trying to understand how our risk management affects the result of the strategy and or the system that we are trading. And the big one, the psychology part. We're trying to understand how psychology affects our decisions about risk management and about our strategy and our system. And talking about psychology, everybody, what do champion beginner traders say? Champion beginner traders say, I am not going to live and die on a trade by trade basis. Hello SL, how are you? And this is a quote from Mark Douglas, of course, and I have my own quote here. When the market scares you, don't be afraid to do the right thing. What is the right thing to do? Well, follow the concepts, follow the rules, follow the indicators, you know. Okay? And remember, 90% of traders lose money in the Forex market worldwide, and the webinars are not trading or investment advice. The webinars are for educational purposes only, and for homeworks or questions you have my Gmail contact, my Skype contact, and my LinkedIn contact. Zuelius, you are the boss. Good morning, how are you? So, that being said, everybody, let's jump to the live market and let's start learning, right? So today we are going to have the higher time frames and the lower time frames, and let's write this down, right? So we are going to have different trading styles and strategies, like scalper is going to be one. This is a scalper. Then we are going to have intraday trader, right? Day trader, intraday trader is going to be here. And then we are going to have the swing trader. Swing trader. Swing trader. Okay, scalper, intraday, swing trader. Okay, those are the most relevant one. We are not going to put the position trader, the news trader. Hello Headbuster, how are you? Okay. Now, and we are going to have here two quadrants. Okay, this is one and this is two. Okay, and we're going to have the first quadrant is going to be higher time frame. So higher time frame, like monthly slash weekly slash daily. Okay, higher time frame, and let's put it down or somewhere like here, a little bit down, right? Intraday. Okay, and then we have here lower time frames. Edit label, lower time frames, like 1 to 4 hour chart, like the 30 minutes, 15-minute chart, or the 5-minute chart, right? So the higher time frames are considered the monthly, weekly, and the daily, and the lower time frames are considered the 1 hour chart, 2 hour chart, 4 hour chart, 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, you know, and the 5-minute chart. Okay, now we are going to use, and this is a concept, we are going to use the higher time frames to determine the general overall direction. Okay, So we are using the higher time frames. Let's make it like this. We are using higher time frames to determine the overall general direction of the market. Okay, like the monthly, the weekly, the monthly bands, you know, the weekly and the daily. And we are going to use the, so clone one more time, and we are going to use the lower time frames, okay, to determine the short term view and timing. Hello Husnaini, how are you? Okay, now this is what you must learn, everybody. You know, this is what you must learn about the higher time frames and what you must learn about the lower time frames. Okay, so if somebody in here, everybody, is somebody in here a scalper or an intraday? Is somebody in here a scalper or intraday trader? Why is this important? You know, if the higher time frames, if the monthly, weekly and daily are determining the general overall direction, you cannot use this to make decisions as a scalper. Make sense, everybody? No, I'm not saying that you cannot analyze the market, but I'm telling you that you are not going to scalp up or down because the monthly time frame is making a down retracement or an up extension. Make sense, guys, or am I talking nonsense to you? And here is the beginner's mistake. Talking about knowledge, talking about the learning the correct things, talking about the learning the correct way. So rule, it's a trading rule, okay? You cannot win on the short term time frames based on the long term views. Okay, it's a trading rule. You cannot win, or it's not a rule per se, maybe a concept, right? Concept, better word, trading concept. You cannot win on the short term time frames based on the long term views. Simply doesn't work this way. Makes sense? Thank you very much. Okay, so wait, let me explain. Wait a second. Let me explain. You know, what does this mean? This means that you cannot go long, example, on the euro dollar intraday because of what is the monthly chart doing on the euro dollar monthly chart. Doesn't work. And one more time, don't mix apples with bananas. I'm not saying that you cannot analyze, but you cannot base your decisions how you are going to enter, when you are going to enter, how you are going to exit, where you are going to exit, if you are a scalper or intraday, based on what is happening on the monthly. Why not? Because the swings are different. You know, there is no statistic rule, but it's, you know, there is an estimate that one swing on the weekly is going to produce about 15 to 20 swings on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart, depending on the currency, and it's going to make between 30 to 50 or more swings on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, I checked Google, there is nothing there, you know, because the market's always changing, you know, there is not a statistical rule, you know, but we know this, you know, I cannot buy or sell a currency pair on the 5-minute chart and scalp based on what is the market doing on the daily, weekly and monthly. One has nothing to do with the other. Oh, Passion, but you said that the higher time frame controls the smaller time frame. Yes, but this is another story, you know. So learning today about the higher time frames, everybody, and about the lower time frames, just learn this. With the higher time frame, we are going to determine the general overall direction, you know. But talking about timing, when is the right time to enter, we're going to use 1, 2, 4, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 5-minute chart to determine the short-term view and timing. Okay, so swing traders, yes, you know, and the lower time frame scalpers, yes sir, of course. Intraday, yes sir, of course. And talking about timing, yes sir, of course. Any questions so far? This is the correct way, everybody, otherwise you are doing not in the correct way. And if you have a guru out there and he say, no, this is not true, invite him or her to class to talk to me. You know, maybe I'm wrong, you know, what do I know, right? What do I know about trading? You know, but if somebody going, no, I'm going to scalp NZD CAD on the 15-minute chart because the monthly structure is down. I'm telling you, you know, it doesn't work. You know, I'm going long or short here because of the monthly, scalper or intraday. You know, you can try, or maybe I was not skilled enough. You know, I tried and I didn't succeed. You know, it's okay. You know, maybe I was not skilled enough to. But this is what I learned, right? And this is what works. And this is what other traders, I believe, are saying too. Okay, so this is one, and if there are no questions, here is how. So this is really introduction to multiple time frame trading, you know. So we have the 4 time frames, right? We have the monthly is going to be here, and clone and edit. Weekly is going to be here, and clone, and daily is going to be here, and one more time clone, and the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame is going to be here. Okay, now remember this, you know, this is what we are going to learn, and this is time demanding. Okay, it's going to take some time for you to understand the correlation between those time frames, how they work, when you can use them, when you cannot use them. What is the higher time frame for scalping and intraday? Then great question. What do you think? Now this statistic is out there. This statistic is out there. SL, just don't mix apples with bananas, okay, everybody? We are not talking about trading time frame and confirmation time frame, okay? This is not it. Don't mix apples with bananas, okay? Don't mix bacon with pineapple. We are talking about higher time frames and lower time frames. We are not talking about trading time frames and confirmation time frames. Okay, now if this is clear, so great question, what do you think? Okay, in the meantime, everybody, what we learned so far, right? Let's say that the monthly chart is something like this. This is the monthly chart. And let's say that the weekly is something like this, you know. And let's say that the daily is something like this. Okay, let's say that the daily is something like this. And one more time, right? Let's say something like this, okay? And let's say that the 1 hour, 2 hour chart are something like this. Okay? How are you going to trade this one? On the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart. Are you going to go long? Are you going to go short? And let's make it a little bit more interesting, not this one. Let's make it a little bit more interesting, right? Something like this. SL, there is the statistic out there, so scalpers are operating on the 15-minute, 5-minute chart. Okay? If you are buying or selling candlesticks, then you don't need a confirmation time frame. Okay, now intraday, they are going to intraday on the 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, whatever, and their confirmation time frame is going to be the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart, but absolutely not the daily chart. Okay, one more time, I'm not saying that you cannot analyze, but don't base your intraday decisions based on what the daily chart is doing. Why not? It's too big. You need intraday, you want to capture pips during the day, you know, during the time zone that you are trading. Maybe it's Asia session, you know, London session, New York session. This is your intraday trading. The daily chart is too big. Make sense, everybody, or am I talking nonsense? And if you don't agree, let's have a talk. Tell me, Passion, I don't agree with you. Great, I love the one that don't agree, I don't believe you. Those are the best students, you know. So let's have a talk. So going back, got your point, very good. So going back, everybody, this is our trading time frame. This is our question. How are we going to trade this one? How are we going to trade this one? How are we going to scalp, intraday, or swing trade this one? You need to understand what you're doing. And this is one of the lessons. This is an introduction to multiple time frame trading. You know, Tari, yes, makes sense. Great. This is one of the lessons that you must watch 3 or 4 times. Don't be so naive that you're, oh, I got it, you know. Yes, you got it right now, but in about an hour and a half, you know, what did you learn? Well, I learned that, you know, that the 1 hour on the monthly and the weekly goes up and the daily goes down. I learned that the what did you learn, you know? It's too much information. Okay, now it depends, right? It depends what kind of trader am I. It depends if I'm a scalper or I'm intraday or I'm a swing trader. No, maybe I don't need to look on all of this, right? Those are the relevant to me, those are not relevant to me. Okay, but we're going to talk from a swing trader standpoint. Why? Because we are going to address both of them, okay? So let's not use swing trade, okay? Let's not use intraday. Let's use the term short term. So what a short term trade would be, maybe, right? And what a long term trade would be. And don't be shy, there is no right or wrong, we are here to learn. So 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart, what would be a short-term trade? Long or short? And what would be a long-term trade? You can say short-term long, long-term short. You can say short-term short, long-term short. You can say short-term long, long-term long. And you can also say short-term I don't know, long-term I have no clue. Fair point. We are here to learn. And the concept in here is the important one. Concept is that the higher time frame controls market, controls price movement and market direction on the smaller time frames. Let's make a poll, everybody. Let's make a poll. What a short-term trend would be. Let's say that I want to make a short-term trade, okay, like intraday. So should I wait to short the market? Should I short the market, or should I go long? Short term is long, long term is short. Great answer. Short term is long, long term is short. Anybody else? So, teacher Zuelius, now everybody listen very carefully, and please, I beg you, watch this webinar 3 or 4 times. Okay, let's start learning. Teacher Zuelius, why is the short term long if we are making lower lows, lower highs? Great, SL2. Teacher Zuelius and Teacher SL, why is the short term long if we are making lower lows, lower highs? Teacher Zuelius, Teacher SL, and everybody else, come on, let's open a conversation. Let's open a discussion, you know, it's not a problem, we are here to do so. Why is the short-term trade? So you are the head of trading, I'm your trader, you know, I'm your employee, you are the boss, but it's not clear to me, you know, so why would we go long short-term if the market's making lower lows, lower highs on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame? I'm not saying right or wrong, I'm just asking questions. I was to FXPassion school and I listened to him and he said, well, long term is short, short term is long. Husnaini, we are all together, right? So, Teacher Husnaini, Teacher SL, Teacher Zuels, why the short term is long if the market is making lower lows, lower highs? Black arrow pointing at it. Short-term structure is long. 1-2 hour the direction is up. You know? Short-term structure is long, and 1 to 2 hour, 4 hour direction is up. You know? if the higher time frames controls price movement and market direction on the smaller time frame, is the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart the important one, or is the daily more important? What do you think? You know? So the question is, everybody, right now, how should we trade a short-term trade right now? Right now. Trade what you see. What do you see? What do you see? Trade what you see. Great answer. What do you see? What are you seeing? Because I went to FXPassion school and he said that timing is one of the reasons that beginner traders lose money. Wrong timing. Maybe correct direction, but timing is wrong. I don't know, I'm just asking questions, you know. Stay out for short term as it's only a retracement for long term buy. Tari wants to stay out, great answer. You know, the question is right now, what is the short term trend right now? And if you say long, well, I went to FXPassion class and he told me that don't enter against the trend. The market making lower lows, lower highs. One more time, let's be clear. I'm not saying that you are wrong, I'm just asking questions. I don't understand. Teacher SL, Teacher Zuelius, Teacher Husnaini, I don't understand. How can I go long if the market's making lower lows, lower highs? Short term. Short trade is long, wait the next counter trendline break. Okay. Do you agree, SL Husnaini? Short trade is long, wait for the next counter trendline break. On the daily is just a retracement. You have two options: trade the retracement or wait for the to break down. Now I'm confused. Teacher Husnaini, now I'm confused. It's long or short? Short term. Zuelius says wait for the next counter trend line. So fair point. Fair point. SL, what about you? What is the short-term trade on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart? We have time. I'm going to explain to you. Let's think together, you know. You are not going to learn if I give you the answers. You need to understand how the market works. You know? Everybody, let's make a poll. Who agrees with Zuelius? Short trade is long. Wait for the next counter trendline break. There is no right or wrong. We are here to learn. What would you say? Don't be shy, everybody. There is no right or wrong. Okay, Zuelius, you are on. Okay, so I'm going to, it's making lower lows, so it's trending downwards and we are in a retracement. I agree with Zuelius on the daily. Okay, I still agree with Zuelius. So, Husnaini, we are waiting for you. What is the short-term trade? It's long or short? We are waiting for you. Teacher Husnaini, long or short on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart? I do not agree. So what's your plan? Zuelius, 1 to 4 hour is in a retracement, maybe finishing the retracement, then is risk to go short. guys, you need to decide, you know, don't be all around, oh, short, no, it's long, you know, think and make an educated decision. And don't worry being wrong, we are here to learn. You know, there is no right or wrong, number one, but there are some concepts to be followed to make your journey to become a professional trader easier. As we did not have time to cover lesson 10 last week, how to trade trends inside the market structure. True. Tari, I'm sorry I forgot. Tari is absolutely right, everybody. I'm sorry I forgot. Daily structure short, but 1, 2, 3 structure is long. Everybody, you know, what you should learn here, the more you talk and the more you change, the more confusing I am. And the more confused you are when you are analyzing the market. So decide. Question: if the confirmation short-term trend to the other side did not breach the last short-term trend, higher low, lower high, is this still confirmed short-term trend reversal? If the confirmation short-term trend to other side, what do you mean by other side? Did not breach the last short-term trend? I think I don't understand, but I would say no. I'm planning to go short after the count. Great. So, everybody, Zuelius and SL want to go long, Husnaini wants to go short. Let's see what is going to happen most of the time. The market broke out on the counter trend line. So we are winning, and then we lost. Husnaini was right. Why? This happens all the time to the beginner traders. Me too, right? We are all the same. This is happening to me all the time. I'm finding an entry on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame, 15 minutes, whatever, you know, and the market goes my way for 15 minutes, 1 hour or so, and then I'm losing most of the time. And this is the introduction to multiple time frame trading. And for the intraday, remember that 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame and the daily is just an example. Could be the daily could be the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart, and your intraday trading time frame could be the 15-minute chart or the 30-minute chart. It's a concept that the higher time frame controls price movement and market direction on the smaller time frames. So, $1 million question for the beginner trader: why did we lose? And I'm going to give you a help, everybody. You are not going to find the answer on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame. Okay? So I'm going to start helping you. This is going to be violet, and this is the first help. This on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame is this on the daily chart. Why did we lose? Why did we lose, everybody? Why did we lose? You know, the market broke the counter trend line and then bam. You know, why did we lose? This is this. We are looking exactly at the same thing. We are looking at exactly the same price movement, price action. you know, just from a different time frame view. Daily structure is short. But teacher SL, didn't the market wasn't the market making higher highs, higher lows on the daily? Yes, now I see. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? This one is too exaggerated, right? I cannot break too much, but something like this would be on the, you know, right? So the short-term trade would be, it's a probability game, right? There are no guarantees, but talking about technicals, this trade makes sense. Check the confirmation time frame before trading. So why did we lose? Well, number one, the daily chart was making lower lows, lower highs, you know, so this is the market wave, right? Let's make it yellow. So look at the market wave on the daily chart. Extension, retracement, extension. So our short-term uptrend on the 1 hour, 2 hour chart, 4 hour chart was nothing more than a down retracement on the daily. Agreed? Do you understand this? The violet line, the short-term uptrend, was nothing more than a down retracement on the daily. And because the higher time frame controls the smaller time frame, the market, broke up one more time, counter trend line, found past resistance here, right? Past resistance, we're going to learn about resistance and everything, right? And then it reversed and went back down one more time. This is why we lost. And it makes sense, it makes perfect sense. Questions? Do you agree? Number one, do you understand? So number one, do you understand? Number two, do you agree? And three, is anybody here who does not agree that the market moves like this most of the time? We were trying to trade a down retracement. Well, a down extension. The daily structure is short. Yes, sir. Daily is making lower lows, lower highs. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, what is going to be if the short-term trend is short? And let's see if you learned something, everybody. What is going to be a long-term trade right now? Okay. Can I delete this? Can I delete the short-term trade? Can I delete the short-term trade? So we can address what is going to be the long-term trade. Okay, let's delete, or maybe not this one. Let's delete. Okay. What about the long-term trade from the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame? You know, so we are out of the scalper and intraday, talking about the long-term trades. So the long-term trades are not scalpers, intraday are not long-term. So this would be a scalp. This would be an intraday or a scalp, you know. Less a scalp, more an intraday trade. Daily would be 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame. Those here is going to would be the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute chart. Scalpers are more like short term, right? So we are out of scalping and intraday. Now we are talking about swing trading, long term. What is going to be the long term trade right now? everybody. Remember, there is no right or wrong, right? But just try to learn. Okay, try to learn and try to make sense out of this, right? If you can. Okay. Try to make sense out of this if you can. So what is going to be the long-term trade? And give me a second. I'm not seeing the chat. Long-term trade is sell with extension on of the daily confirmation. Long-term weekly obstruction. Long-term is long, so great news. We have different opinions. Somebody wants to go long, somebody wants to go short. Right? So remember, everybody, Tari and everybody else, trading concept, you cannot win the short-term time frames or the short-term trend trades based on the long-term views. And it goes the other way too, right? Clone. And you cannot win the long term. You cannot win on the long term time frames based on the short term views, right? It goes both sides. Tari and everybody else, you cannot win on the short-term time frames based on the long-term views, and you cannot win on the long-term time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, based on the short-term views. So if this is true, right? So what is long-term? What is long-term? Is the daily long-term? Is the monthly long-term? Is the weekly long-term? What is long-term? Tari says long-term short. SL says long-term long. Zuel is long-term long. Hosnani short. Great, perfect example how to have different views. Great example. We have confirmed short-term trend on the lower time frame. Yes, sir. Now you need to be more specific. What time frame are we talking about? Because, see everybody, this is the mindset. When you're talking about we have confirmed the short-term trend on the lower time frame, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a lower lows, lower highs here? Or are we talking about higher highs, higher lows in here? What are we talking about? And talking about the long-term trade, what is the long-term trade? Is this the daily or is the weekly? Which one is the long-term? Let's go step by step, right? Okay, so what chart is the long term? Question number one. What time frame or a chart is considered long term? Easy question. What time frame or chart is considered long term? Tari, yes. We have confirmed the short-term trend on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. Yes, sir. Everybody, what time frame or what chart is considered long-term? Because we are retracing on the monthly, so in the weekly is just the retrace of a downtrend. Hello Allah. Husnaini, are we in a downtrend on the weekly? Are we in a downtrend on the weekly? Monthly, so what is the long-term trade? It's long or short? What time frame chart is considered to be long-term? The long-term charts or time frame are the monthly, weekly and daily. Okay, those are the long-term. Why are those the long-term? Because they determine the overall general direction. Why are they determining the general overall direction and not the lower time frame? Because the higher time frame controls price movement and market direction on the smaller time frame. So if this is true, what is the long-term? What the long-term trade would be? Don't worry, there is no right or wrong. Okay, which one? Husnain says short. Monthly, weekly, daily. So can we enter from the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame? Can we enter the market from the view on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame? Can we enter the market based on what the 1 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour time frame is doing? Yes or no? If we are going to put a long-term trade and the long-term time frames are the monthly, weekly and daily, can we enter a trade on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart based on what the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart is doing? Yes or no? Can I go long or short based on, so this is the question. Can I go long term or short term based on what the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour chart is doing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Tari says no, Zuelio says no. So what is the next time frame that I should be addressing? I'm still going to enter on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame. I'm still going to enter here, but going long or short, what is the next time frame that I should be checking? The monthly, weekly or the daily? Okay, time is passing, so the daily, right? The daily. Okay, the daily. Okay, now what is the daily telling me? It's long term long or long term short? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you the answer because time is moving. Something like this, right? Something like this, and it was something like that, right? I don't understand the question. The question is, I don't have money to trade the daily chart, okay? Yes, of course. I don't have enough money in my account, I don't have enough capital to trade from the daily chart, right? So I can only trade and enter from the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame. This is my trading time frame. Okay? But I want to enter a long-term trade, not a short-term, a long-term trade. And the long-term time frames, the time frames that are going to show me the general overall direction, which is another word to saying long-term, are the monthly, weekly, and daily. So can I enter long or short on the 1 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour time frame based on what the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour is doing? Daily, daily, daily. Yes sir, very good. Daily. Okay. So now I'm going to base my decision to going long or short long term is going to be based on what the daily is doing, right? So question, so what is the long term trade based on the what daily is doing? Is short or long? What is the long-term view? If the higher time frame controls the smaller time frame, what is the long-term view on the daily chart? Alright? I'm confused, it's not that easy. I'm telling you, watch this lesson 3 or 4 times. And don't worry, you are going to learn everything, okay? Just give it some time. You know, this Forex course 101, it lasts a year generally. Okay? 2 more minutes, everybody. What is the long-term view on the daily? It's long or short? Come on. Teacher Tari, Teacher Hosnaini, Teacher Zuelius, Teacher Ala, Teacher SL. What is the long-term view on the daily chart? 2 more minutes. Okay. Go long after the break of the trend line on the daily. Daily at the moment consolidate downtrend retracements. Long or short? Hosnani says long. See everybody, this is the spatial skill that you need to acquire and it takes some time. So this quadrant is this quadrant and this circle is this circle. Congratulations, yes, it's long, not short. This is the daily time frame on the weekly chart. Right, let's change colors. Let's make this is red and let's do it, this is blue. You know, this is the skill that we need to develop how in order to properly understand what are the charts saying to me. I mean to us, right? No, it's not short, it's up. Why it's up? Because we learned about the market wave, extension, retracement. Passion, how do you know that this is extension retracement? From the higher time frame. From the higher time frame. The weekly is going to dictate price movement and market direction of the daily. So it's going to take some time, you know, but we need to understand how to spatially see. what is the blue and what is the red, and who is going to dictate who. Tari, who is more powerful, the weekly red or the daily blue? Who is more powerful? Everybody, who is more powerful, the weekly red line or the daily blue lines? Who is more powerful, the blue lines on the daily or the red line on the weekly? Who is more powerful? Who has the greatest force, the grandfather or the nephew or the son? Who is going to smack whom? It's long, right? It's long, but long term it's long. Short term is short. Weekly, absolutely. Congratulations to everybody, our time is up. As always, next level number 1. If you want to accelerate your learning curve, now today you had a taste what is the learning curve. You know, it's going to take some time, and not waste 1, 2, 3 years. Ask for private lesson of the Forex course 101 if you want. And once you are over the Forex course 101 and you learn the basics and the concepts, you can ask for the Forex course 202 and learn how to trade as a professional. Learn the mindset and the heart set of the professional Forex traders. You know, professional traders don't have one-on-one issues, you know. We don't care about trend lines and Fibonacci's and multiple time frame trading anymore. Weekly red line. The bottom line is this: if your way is not working, why don't you try ours?